No one expected a story like this to explode around Sumit, and yet here we are. What started as whispers inside fan communities has turned into one of the most talked about controversies surrounding the world of 90 Day Fiancé. A supposed $2 million fortune, a questionable document, and a growing suspicion that something far more calculated has been happening behind the scenes. Viewers who once followed the couple for romance and family drama are now looking at every past moment with a completely different perspective. The question on everyone's mind is simple but explosive. Was this a clever financial takeover disguised as trust, or is the entire situation being misunderstood? Sumit has always been seen as someone caught between loyalty and pressure. For years, his storyline revolved around family expectations, cultural traditions, and relationship struggles that kept fans emotionally invested. But recent developments have shifted the focus from love to money, and the shift has been dramatic. Reports began circulating that Sumit had access to a large sum of money connected to long-time family investments and private accounts. It was not something he openly discussed, and most viewers never imagined that such a fortune even existed. That is exactly why the latest claims have sent shockwaves through the fanbase. According to people who claim to know the situation closely, a document surfaced that appeared to transfer major financial authority away from Sumit. The signature looked real at first glance, but something about it immediately raised red flags. Those who examined the document closely began pointing out inconsistencies. The formatting did not match previous paperwork linked to Sumit's finances. The signature style appeared slightly off. Even the date raised eyebrows because it allegedly fell on a day when Sumit was traveling and not involved in any known legal meetings. That is when the word forged started circulating among viewers and online communities. Suddenly, everything felt less like a routine paperwork issue and more like a carefully planned move. The name tied to the document was Sadhna, and once fans noticed that connection, speculation exploded overnight. Online forums filled with theories, breakdowns, and side-by-side comparisons of past episodes and recent claims. Some viewers believe the entire situation points to manipulation. Others think there may be a deeper misunderstanding that has not yet been revealed. The most surprising part of this unfolding drama is Sumit's reaction. When asked about the alleged document during a casual conversation captured by people close to the situation, he did not immediately deny it. Instead, he seemed visibly uncomfortable. He reportedly said he needed time to review everything carefully, which only intensified the speculation. Fans who watched that reaction closely noticed hesitation that felt unusual. This was not the confident response of someone dismissing a false claim. It felt like someone trying to process something unexpected and possibly serious. That single moment of uncertainty became the spark that turned a rumor into a full-blown scandal in the eyes of viewers. Meanwhile, attention quickly shifted to Sadhna. Known for being outspoken and protective of her interests, she has always been a strong presence whenever financial or family matters were discussed. In past appearances and reported conversations, she emphasized the importance of security and control when it came to money. That history is now being re-examined by fans who believe the current controversy may have deeper roots. Some viewers are convinced that if a forged document does exist, it could not have appeared out of nowhere. Others argue that jumping to conclusions without official confirmation could unfairly damage reputations. Still, the intensity of the online discussion continues to grow by the day. As the speculation spreads, more details are being discussed across fan communities. Some claim that the alleged document gave temporary financial authority rather than permanent control, which could mean it was part of a larger arrangement that went wrong. Others insist that if the signature truly was forged, the situation could turn into a serious legal battle. There are also those who believe the entire narrative may be exaggerated, possibly fueled by misunderstandings and incomplete information. Yet despite these different viewpoints, one thing remains certain. Interest in this story is only getting stronger. What makes this situation especially gripping is the emotional layer beneath the financial drama. Viewers are not just looking at numbers and paperwork. They are looking at relationships built on trust and loyalty. If the allegations turn out to be true, the sense of betrayal could be enormous. If they turn out to be false, the damage caused by suspicion alone could still leave lasting scars. Either way, the stakes feel incredibly high, and that is exactly why fans cannot stop talking about it. As discussions continue, people close to the situation are reportedly urging caution. They claim that not all facts are public yet and that important context may still be missing. Even so, the narrative has taken on a life of its own. Every new rumor, every subtle reaction, and every past interaction is being analyzed like a piece of a much larger puzzle. Some viewers believe the truth will come out soon through official clarification or legal action. Others think the mystery may continue for quite some time, with only fragments of information surfacing here and there. For now, the alleged forged document remains at the center of the storm. Whether it proves to be real, misunderstood, or entirely false, its impact has already been massive. The idea that a hidden financial move could reshape everything viewers thought they knew has created a level of intrigue rarely seen before. And as long as questions remain unanswered, the story will continue to evolve. Fans are watching closely, waiting for the next reveal, the next reaction, and the next piece of information that could finally explain what really happened behind the scenes today. As the controversy keeps building, the pressure surrounding Sumit and Sadhna is reaching a level that few reality TV personalities ever experience. Every new day seems to bring another wave of theories, reactions, and intense debate across the fan community of 90 Day Fiancé. What once felt like a simple rumor about a suspicious document has now evolved into a full-scale narrative about trust, power, and the hidden influence of money. Viewers who initially dismissed the story as gossip are beginning to pay closer attention, especially as more details and reactions slowly surface. The biggest reason this situation feels so explosive is the sheer size of the alleged fortune involved. $2 million is not a small misunderstanding. It represents stability, control, and long-term security. If that kind of money was truly at risk due to a questionable document, then the implications stretch far beyond a simple disagreement. It becomes a story about who holds power and how easily that power can shift when paperwork enters the equation. Insiders claim that the document in question did not just appear randomly. According to circulating reports, it was presented during what was supposed to be a routine financial review connected to ongoing family arrangements. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Paperwork was expected. Signatures were normal. But when the document was examined more closely, certain details began to stand out. The language used in the authorization section reportedly granted broader control than anyone anticipated. Instead of limited access or temporary oversight, it suggested a more permanent shift in financial authority. That single discovery is what reportedly triggered concern. Those present allegedly began asking questions about when and how the document had been signed. That is when uncertainty started turning into suspicion. What makes the situation even more complicated is the timeline. Some sources suggest that the document surfaced shortly after a period of tension involving financial planning and future investments. If that timing is accurate, it raises a critical question. Was the document part of an effort to secure stability, or was it an attempt to quietly take control? The difference between those two possibilities is enormous. One suggests misunderstanding, the other suggests intention. Fans analyzing the situation online have created detailed timelines, matching reported events with past conversations and known developments. In doing so, they are uncovering connections that may or may not be significant but certainly keep the mystery alive. Meanwhile, Sumit's silence on the issue has become almost as powerful as any statement he could make. Rather than offering a clear confirmation or denial, he has reportedly chosen to step back and review the situation privately. Some fans interpret this as a sign that legal or personal considerations are preventing him from speaking openly. Others see it as evidence that he may still be trying to understand exactly what happened. In high-stakes situations involving large sums of money, even small details can carry enormous consequences. That reality may explain why there has been no immediate public clarification. Still, the lack of a direct response continues to fuel speculation. Every day without a definitive answer allows the story to grow more dramatic in the eyes of viewers. Attention has also turned toward Sadhna's perspective. While she has not made a detailed public statement addressing the allegations, those familiar with her past behavior describe her as someone who values structure and security when it comes to finances. Supporters argue that this personality trait could easily be misinterpreted. They believe that any document bearing her involvement may have been part of a legitimate process that is now being misunderstood. Critics, however, are less forgiving. They point to the reported inconsistencies in the document and suggest that if the signature truly does not match, then serious questions must be asked. The divide between these two viewpoints has created intense debate across fan communities, with each side presenting its own version of what might have happened. Adding another layer to the story is the emotional dynamic between all parties involved. Money can create tension even in the strongest relationships, and when trust is tested, the emotional fallout can be significant. Some viewers believe the alleged document may have emerged during a moment of vulnerability or confusion, when decisions were made quickly and without full clarity. Others suspect a more calculated approach, one designed to secure control quietly before anyone realized what was happening. Without confirmed facts, these interpretations remain speculative, but they continue to shape how the story is perceived. As discussions continue to unfold, legal experts and longtime viewers alike have started weighing in on what could happen next. If the document is proven authentic and properly authorized, the controversy may eventually fade, leaving behind only a temporary wave of drama. But if serious irregularities are confirmed, the consequences could be far more significant. Financial disputes of this scale often involve lengthy reviews, legal consultations, and potential challenges that can take months or even years to resolve. That possibility has only increased the level of intrigue surrounding the situation. Fans are no longer just watching for emotional reactions. They are watching for signs of official action, statements, or any development that could clarify the truth. Despite all the uncertainty, one thing remains clear. This story has captured attention in a way few reality television controversies ever do. It combines mystery, money, and personal relationships into a narrative that feels almost cinematic in its intensity. Each new detail, whether confirmed or rumored, adds another layer to a puzzle that viewers are eager to solve. As long as questions remain unanswered, the fascination will continue. People are watching closely, analyzing every reaction and every hint, waiting for the moment when the full story finally comes into focus. Today, as the tension surrounding the alleged $2 million document continues to grow, the atmosphere around Sumit's situation has shifted from curiosity to full-blown suspense. Viewers who once followed his journey for relationship drama are now following every development like a financial thriller. Within the fan universe of 90 Day Fiancé, conversations have become more intense than ever. People are not just discussing what happened. They are trying to understand how something this serious could unfold without immediate clarity. And perhaps the most unsettling part is how many unanswered questions still remain. Some insiders claim that the moment the document was first questioned, a quiet internal review began. Instead of making public accusations or dramatic confrontations, those closest to the situation reportedly chose to verify details behind the scenes. Financial records, signatures, and authorization patterns were allegedly examined carefully. If these claims are accurate, it suggests that the situation is being handled with extreme caution. That alone indicates how serious the matter could be. When large sums of money and legal authority are involved, even a small discrepancy can trigger a detailed investigation. And if a document truly does not match established records, the consequences can extend far beyond personal relationships. What makes this situation even more compelling is the possibility that the document may not be the only piece of the puzzle. Some viewers believe there could be additional paperwork or communications that have not yet been revealed. These could either confirm the allegations or completely change the narrative. The idea that more information might surface at any moment has kept fans on edge. Every subtle hint, every indirect comment, and every reported reaction is being examined closely. In the absence of official confirmation, speculation has become its own form of storytelling, shaping how the public perceives what might be happening behind closed doors. Sumit's position in all of this remains particularly complex. On one hand, he is the person directly connected to the alleged financial shift. On the other hand, he appears to be navigating the situation carefully, possibly to avoid escalating tensions prematurely. Some fans believe his measured response suggests he wants to resolve the matter privately before addressing it publicly. Others think his silence could indicate uncertainty about how to proceed. When trust, money, and public attention collide, even a simple statement can have far-reaching effects. That reality may explain why every word and every pause from him is being interpreted in multiple ways. Meanwhile, Sadhna's role in the unfolding narrative continues to generate intense debate. Supporters argue that she may be facing unfair assumptions based on incomplete information. They point out that doku involving shared or family finances often include multiple signatures and complex arrangements. Without full context, they say, it is easy to misinterpret what might actually be routine authorization. Critics, however, remain focused on the reported inconsistencies. If the signature truly differs from verified examples, they argue, then the situation deserves serious scrutiny. This divide in opinion has created a digital environment where every detail is contested and every theory has both defenders and skeptics. The emotional impact of the situation cannot be ignored either. Financial disputes have a way of affecting relationships on a deeply personal level. Even the suspicion of dishonesty can create tension that lingers long after the facts are clarified. Some viewers believe that regardless of the final outcome, the trust between everyone involved may already be strained. Others hope that the truth, once revealed, will bring clarity and resolution. Either way, the emotional stakes feel just as high as the financial ones. That combination is what makes the story so compelling to follow. Adding to the suspense is the possibility of official clarification in the near future. There are growing rumors that legal or financial advisors connected to the situation may eventually provide a statement or take action. If that happens, it could either confirm the authenticity of the document or expose serious irregularities. Until then, the story remains suspended in a state of uncertainty. Fans continue to analyze past moments, searching for clues that might explain how the situation reached this point. Some believe the truth will emerge suddenly, with a single revelation that changes everything. Others think it will unfold slowly, piece by piece, as more information becomes available. What is undeniable is the level of attention this story has generated. Few reality television narratives have managed to blend financial intrigue and personal drama in such a powerful way. The idea that a single document could reshape relationships and potentially redirect a large fortune has created a sense of suspense that feels almost cinematic. Each new rumor or reaction adds another layer to the unfolding narrative, keeping viewers engaged and eager for answers. As the days pass, the central mystery remains unresolved. Was the document legitimate and misunderstood, or was it part of a calculated move that has only now come to light? Until clear evidence emerges, that question will continue to dominate discussions among fans and observers alike. For now, all eyes remain on Sumit, Sadhna, and the next development that could finally reveal what truly happened behind the scenes. The deeper this story goes, the more unsettling it becomes. What once sounded like a simple financial misunderstanding is now being viewed by many fans as one of the most calculated and mysterious situations ever connected to the universe of 90 Day Fiancé. The alleged $2 million document has transformed from a rumor into a narrative filled with tension, suspicion, and unanswered questions that refuse to fade. Every conversation, every reaction, and every small detail is being examined with intense focus by viewers who are determined to understand what really happened behind closed doors. At the center of it all stands Sumit, a man who once appeared to be navigating only emotional challenges, but now finds himself surrounded by a financial controversy that could reshape everything. The idea that a single document could shift control of such a large fortune has created an atmosphere of suspense that feels more like a high-stakes drama than reality television. Those following the story closely say the situation has entered a new phase, one where quiet investigations and private discussions may be taking place away from the public eye. If that is true, then the most important revelations may still be ahead. Some insiders believe that the document in question did not surface by accident. They suggest it may have been presented during a routine review of financial arrangements, a moment when no one expected anything unusual. At first glance, everything reportedly appeared legitimate. The formatting looked professional, the structure resembled official paperwork, and the signature seemed convincing enough to avoid immediate suspicion. But as the details were examined more closely, subtle inconsistencies began to appear. The style of the signature reportedly differed slightly from verified examples. The authorization language appeared broader than expected. Even the timing raised questions, as the date on the document allegedly did not align perfectly with known events. Each of these discrepancies on its own might have been dismissed as minor. Together, they formed a pattern that was difficult to ignore. That is when whispers of possible forgery began circulating among those who had seen or heard about the document. Once that possibility entered the conversation, everything changed. What might have been resolved quietly suddenly became a potential scandal. Sumit's reaction to the emerging claims only added to the intrigue. Instead of immediately rejecting the idea that something was wrong, he reportedly chose to review the situation carefully. Those close to him describe a moment of visible tension, a pause that suggested he was processing information that could have serious consequences. For fans watching from the outside, that pause became a turning point. It transformed the story from speculation into a mystery that demanded answers. Online communities quickly mobilized, analyzing past interactions and revisiting earlier episodes in search of clues. Some viewers believe the groundwork for this controversy may have been laid long ago, hidden within conversations about financial security and future planning. Others argue that the situation may have developed suddenly, triggered by a single unexpected discovery. The lack of confirmed information has allowed both interpretations to thrive, keeping the narrative alive and evolving. Attention has also focused intensely on Sadhna, whose connection to the alleged document has made her a central figure in the unfolding drama. Known for her strong personality and practical approach to financial matters, she has often emphasized the importance of stability and control. Supporters argue that this mindset could easily be misinterpreted, especially in a situation involving complex family finances. They suggest that any document bearing her involvement might have been part of a legitimate arrangement that is now being viewed through a lens of suspicion. Critics, however, see the situation differently. They point to the reported inconsistencies and argue that if the signature truly does not match, then serious questions must be addressed. This clash of perspectives has turned the story into a battleground of opinions, with each side presenting its own theory about what might have happened. As the debate intensifies, the emotional stakes continue to rise. Money has a way of magnifying existing tensions, and the possibility of a forged document introduces a level of distrust that can be difficult to overcome. Even if the situation ultimately proves to be a misunderstanding, the process of questioning and investigating can leave lasting marks on relationships. Some viewers believe that trust between all parties involved may already be strained beyond repair. Others remain hopeful that clarity will eventually bring resolution. For now, the uncertainty keeps everyone watching closely. Another factor adding to the suspense is the potential involvement of legal and financial advisors. Large financial transfers rarely occur without oversight, and if a document of this magnitude is being questioned, professionals may already be examining its authenticity. That possibility has fueled speculation that an official clarification could emerge at any time. Whether such a clarification would confirm or disprove the allegations remains unknown, but the mere possibility keeps the story alive in the minds of fans. Each day without a definitive answer adds another layer of intrigue, turning the narrative into a slow-burn mystery that refuses to fade. The fascination surrounding this situation lies not only in the money but also in the human dynamics at play. Viewers are witnessing a complex intersection of trust, ambition, and uncertainty. The idea that a single piece of paper could alter financial control and potentially reshape relationships creates a level of drama that feels almost cinematic. Every small development, whether confirmed or rumored, adds to a narrative that continues to grow more intense. And as long as key questions remain unanswered, the audience will keep searching for clues, analyzing reactions, and waiting for the moment when the full truth finally comes into focus. Today, as the alleged document continues to dominate conversations, the atmosphere surrounding Sumit's situation has shifted into something far heavier than ordinary reality television drama. What began as speculation is now being treated by many followers as a developing financial mystery that could redefine reputations. Within the world of 90 Day Fiancé, controversies are not new, but this one feels different. It is not centered on relationship jealousy or cultural misunderstandings. It revolves around money, authority, and the possibility that a signature on paper may not be what it appears to be. That combination creates a tension that refuses to settle. Behind the scenes, according to those familiar with the broader picture, quiet conversations may be unfolding. When large financial transfers or authorizations are questioned, the first step is rarely public confrontation. Instead, careful verification begins. Financial institutions review documentation. Legal advisors examine wording and authorization scope. Signature samples are compared. Dates are cross-checked. These are not dramatic television moments. They are methodical processes designed to uncover facts. If such reviews are indeed happening, they would likely remain confidential until conclusions are reached. That silence can create even more speculation because people naturally fill in gaps when answers are delayed. One of the most discussed elements of the controversy is the structure of the alleged authorization. Some online analysts who claim to understand financial paperwork have pointed out that the language reportedly grants unusually broad powers. Instead of temporary oversight or limited access, it appears to suggest ongoing control. If that interpretation is accurate, then the implications are significant. Granting that level of authority is not something most people do casually. It requires trust and clarity. That is why so many fans are questioning how such a document could exist without Sumit being fully aware of its consequences. Was it signed knowingly under pressure? Was it altered after signing? Or was it never signed at all? These are the questions fueling endless debate. Another layer of intrigue involves timing. Reports suggest that the document surfaced shortly after discussions about long-term financial planning. If true, this timing could mean several things. It could indicate that the document was part of a broader restructuring plan. It could also suggest that someone anticipated future disputes and wanted control secured in advance. Timing often reveals intention, and that is why fans continue analyzing the sequence of events. Even a small discrepancy between reported dates and known activities can reshape how the entire story is viewed. Sumit's position remains central and complicated. Those who have observed his journey over time describe him as someone who often tries to avoid escalation. If he is reviewing the matter quietly, it may reflect a desire to prevent further public damage. Financial disputes can escalate quickly once accusations are formalized. A single public statement can trigger legal consequences or deeper investigations. By remaining cautious, he may be protecting himself while facts are clarified. Still, for viewers who crave immediate answers, that caution can feel like uncertainty. Every pause becomes meaningful. Every delay becomes suspicious. Meanwhile, attention continues to focus on Sadhna. Supporters argue that she may be facing unfair scrutiny driven by incomplete information. In complex financial arrangements, multiple parties may sign documents for administrative reasons without malicious intent. It is possible that what appears unusual to outsiders is standard practice within a particular financial framework. Critics, however, remain skeptical. They argue that if signature inconsistencies are real, they cannot be dismissed lightly. Forgery allegations carry serious weight, and even the suggestion of such a claim can permanently affect reputations. This clash of interpretations has turned the controversy into a digital battleground where opinions form quickly and solidify just as fast. Adding to the tension is the emotional dimension. Money disputes often expose deeper insecurities about trust and loyalty. Even if no wrongdoing occurred, the suspicion alone can create distance between individuals. Some fans believe the alleged document may represent a breaking point in relationships that were already under strain. Others think the situation may ultimately strengthen bonds if transparency and resolution follow. But until clear confirmation emerges, the emotional impact remains unpredictable. There is also the possibility that external pressures are influencing how the situation unfolds. Public attention can complicate private disputes. When thousands of people are analyzing every detail online, it becomes harder to resolve matters quietly. The pressure to respond can clash with the need for legal caution. This delicate balance may explain why official clarification has not yet appeared. Any statement must be precise, accurate, and strategically timed. One misstep could amplify the controversy rather than calm it. Some observers speculate that a formal forensic analysis of the document could eventually take place. Modern verification methods can examine ink consistency, digital metadata, and signature dynamics with impressive accuracy. If such analysis confirms authenticity, it could silence allegations quickly. If it reveals irregularities, the situation could escalate dramatically. The possibility of that kind of technical investigation adds another layer of suspense to an already intense narrative. What keeps audiences so deeply engaged is the combination of uncertainty and scale. A $2 million figure commands attention. It represents security, independence, and long-term planning. The idea that such a fortune might shift control through questionable paperwork feels both shocking and plausible enough to spark ongoing interest. Every new rumor or subtle hint becomes part of a growing mosaic of possibilities. As this unfolding chapter continues, one reality remains clear. The story has moved.